everyone! I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to take a very quick look at how to get dressed in a 19-teens fancy dress Hussif costume, and also how to do your hair to go along with it. This is a super quick and easy costume to get dressed in, so let's just dive right into the rest of this video. Let's start with the hair. Pay no attention to my guest star as Lion makes his little special appearance. So luckily the hair is really simple for this costume. Basically it is almost like a side pony, but a low pony with some curls in front that are going to stick out from underneath the pincushion hat. So I'm starting with bedhead, and potentially I'm going to be looking into the mirror behind the camera to do this and or at my monitor, but basically we are starting with bedhead and we're just going to sweep everything in a really nice low, not with a ponytail holder, just a low kind of pinned together pony to the side. If you don't have curly hair, by the way, you are going to want to curl your hair first. Again, it's the 19-teens, so I apologize for all of you out there without curly hair, because in the really most of history, but especially the Edwardian period through the 19-teens, they loved curly hair. So it's always nicer if your hair starts out curly and frizzy and a little messy. Okay, so we are just going to sweep this around. Again, we want this really loose and low, so you want to make sure that you have some volume over here to the side. In fact, I actually want a little more volume. My hair is thinner on this side of my head, so I'm just going to tease this a little bit to make sure that I don't lose the volume as I pull it around. So we're just doing a little bit of teasing with the teasing brush. And then we're going to sweep this around. Make sure your teasing isn't too frizzy. We're going to sweep that around. And I'm going to kind of put a little bit of a twist in here in the front. And again, I want this to be volumized as well. And then once you get it kind of over here to the side, you can start pinning. So I don't have all of my hair right now. Some of it kind of got left in the back, but I'm just going to put some bobby pins in here to kind of hold this in place. And as I do that, I'm also going to pin the bit that got left in the back. And we're just doing nice and low. You don't really want your pins to show, but I'm just pinning it kind of at the base of my neck. I know you can't see this right now, but I'm just really making sure that it all kind of stays together here, but doesn't look like anything is keeping it together. For example, this bobby pin's looking a little too obvious. You can even take a piece of your hair and wrap that around, because that'll really help to hide the bobby pins and look really nice and natural. And then just secure that end either by tucking it in if you can, or by hiding a little bobby pin. All right, so that's our low pony done, but the front is too straight, and that's because generally when I'm putting my hair back into like a 3/4 pony, I do straighten the fronts of my hair. So really, if I had left my hair just like completely curly from the shower, I might actually be set as is, but I do straighten my hair a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm taking a small curling iron. This is a 1/2 inch size curling iron. No product or anything, though. I think I do have a little bit of residual pomade or hairspray in my hair because I haven't washed my hair in a couple days. And I am just going to curl this up away from my face. By the way, my hair is already sprayed with a heat protector spray. This is what I use. Highly recommend it. And I always use that in my hair before doing anything with heat. So we're just going to put a couple of nice little curls in here in this straight section to frame the face. You don't need to do too much, and keep in mind that you will be wearing a hat, or that I will be wearing a pincushion hat specifically, and so I don't need to really worry about anything at the top of my head. Just a couple of nice curls on each side. And again, we're curling away from the face here. that is about all you need curl wise. I was trying to see if this one was out or not. I think I can get him to stay there. And then this, you kind of want to have a nice little swoopy barrel curl as well. So I'm actually going to see, I think I'm going to break this into 2 sections and use a larger curling iron. This one is, I believe, a 3/4 inch curling iron. And just curl this bottom ponytail section. I will link all of the products that I can in the description, by the way. Some of them, like the 1/2 inch curling iron, I'm not sure if I can find a link for because I have had that for a very long time and it is from Sally Beauty, not from anywhere online. And then I'm going to try to wrap these around each other so that they look like one large curl. And that's it. That's our hair already done. So now let's go ahead and get dressed. Now, if you have seen my other video on getting dressed in the 19 teens, you might remember that I don't like wearing the actual 19 teens combinations with the all-in-one and the split crotch drawers and everything. So I just wear modern costume style bloomers with elastic in the knee and at the waist. And I wear a modern camisole and modern bra because I find all of that to be much more comfortable underneath my 19 teens garments. First, we're going to start with the corset. This corset was made out of 2 layers. It has cotton ticking on the outside and cotton canvas duck on the inside, and it was done on a tutorial that Jen Thompson shared on her website a very, very long time ago. I will probably need to remake this soon, but it has lasted me very well. This corset is an underbust style and goes over the hips. Corsets in this era do not need to be overly tightened, but it does help to still give you a nice slim silhouette. Fairly soon after this era, since this is a late 19 teens costumes, corsets did start to fade into obscurity with the 1920s. That said, if you were someone who was, shall we say, stout, like I probably would have been considered despite my height, those women still did wear corsets through the 1920s, and I do in fact own a 1920s corset for a stout woman. So leave me a comment down below if that's something that you would like me to share in a future video. Now we can put on the petticoat. I shared the making of this petticoat in one of my videos, but basically I made this out of a scrap of Pimatex cotton because that was all I had left at the time. It closes up with hooks and bars at the waist and is decorated with handmade lace trim that was graciously given to me by Kayla Burrow. So thank you, Kayla, so much. It is slim over the hips with the yoke and then flares out a little bit into just a little bit of a gathered skirt, not very full, but it helps to act as a slip for the dress. And now, since this is the late 19 teens, it's already time for the dress. I have a couple of videos on the making of this dress. It's made out of a cotton twill, and the collar was the most difficult part because that involved kind of fudging a lot of muslin into place and hoping that it stayed there by ironing it to iron-on interfacing. I will link the videos to the making of this dress in the description. This dress closes up the front with hooks and bars. The bottom of the dress is decorated with a whole bunch of appliques of scissors, thread, and thimbles because this is a Hussif or a sewing kit. Next, I'm going to put on the shoes. I didn't worry about putting the shoes on before the corset because they do just slip on. If they were a type of shoe that I would have to buckle, lace, tie, etc., I would put those on first. But luckily these just slip on. These shoes are pumps by Mark Lemp. They're called the Vicky Pump. I will link to them in the description. I highly recommend them. I have them now in black and in off-white. This one is kind of a fabric cover. The off-white is more of a polyurethane plasticky type, but they have a nicely shaped heel, which I really appreciate, and they just do a good job of looking like a historical shoe and still remain comfortable even when walking on gravel paths and in the wet. I actually wore these shoes on wet grass and walking on gravel paths for a couple hours, and they did just fine. Very comfy. And just right for style. Next, we have the really great accessory, the Hussif apron. Now this whole costume is kind of made into a pseudo 18th century style, except it's late 19-teens does pseudo 18th century. So this is a pinner style apron like they used in the 18th century. The waistband is a measuring tape. This closes with hooks and bars in the back of the waist. The front, the part with the buttons, pins onto the dress with straight pins. And we have the measuring tape detail on the side as well. And that is it for the body of the dress, but now we can crown our lovely coiffure. This is the pin cushion hat with actual pins stuffed into the top of the hat. I will link the video in the description on how I made this hat. This hat just sits on top of the head like a little faux mob cap. I just have to make sure that no one slams down on my head very hard to drive those pins into my scalp. Finally, we have our prop. This prop goes along with the other needles in the apron. These are all wooden dowels, which were sanded and painted and have a little bit of a hole carved into them for an eye of the needle. And this is just their bigger friend. I've threaded this one with some yarn to match all of my blanket stitching. And now we can go sew. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to make. It was really fun to make the whole costume. And if you are interested in any of the videos on how I made this costume, as I mentioned before, they will all be linked in the description below, along with the grand reveal video of the final look of this costume in nature. Once again, I do hope you really enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a video. I do post videos here on YouTube twice a week with my sewing vlogs on Tuesdays and regular content like this on Fridays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you would like to support me and all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Ko-fi account down below. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!